Well, I do want to commend you for doing what so few people in our community are willing to do until it is too late. You sought help. And I want you to keep up that therapy. You know why? Because not only are you worth it, but because you are irreplaceable.
Okay, folks, now I decided to do something I usually don't do. Typically, whenever we get one sneak peek, obviously we get multiple per week, but whenever we get a specific sneak peek, I'll do one video on that entire sneak peek. But since this one, I felt like I needed to split it up because I felt like the back half of the sneak peek pertaining to Marie and Danni was just so heartwarming that it was the complete opposite of how I felt about the first 30 seconds. So the first 30 seconds of Marie talking, that's his own video. This one is focused on, her praising Danni, and I really loved it. Now, there was so much I loved about this. Number one, based off Marie's dialogue, it seems like Danni is the last one who she will talk to based on how she, says, oh, I just love having this discussion with all of you women and whatnot. So it starts off with Danni, pretty much saying, look, I just want to let you know, if you say anything crazy, I'm going to whoop that behind. And then, Marie claps back like, oh, girl, come on now. I've given a few, butt whoopings myself in my day. And it's like, this is my client. And I'm thinking like, so this is like Andy to say that kind of thing. But client or not, Marie was the one who called for this sister circle meeting. So, hey, if you say anything out of left field, it's on like Donkey Kong. But what I loved about this is even though we had the comedic moments, and another one comes where Marie starts listing off, things that she knows about Danni, like the panic attack and the night scares, and the way Danni waxed Andy's arm, and Andy's like, ooh, that was hilarious. But what I love about this is the fact that Marie doesn't use this moment to like break down Danni. It's more like you are doing something that a lot of people in our community don't do until it's too late, and that's you're seeking help. And what's beautiful about this moment isn't the fact that, Danni is about to break down crying, but I love how Fatima, gives her a reassuring like pat on the back, because if you remember in last season, early season 7, I'm talking about the first couple episodes, Tony was the one who recommended therapy in the first place. Danni was like, nah. But then at the sister brunch, she brought it up, and Fatima's like, well, actually, I go to therapy too. Krisha is my therapist, and I'd love to link you two up because I suggest you give it a try. And I love the fact that Fatima was the one to give her that reassurance in the moment, because remember, she was, even though Tony got the ball rolling, and I'm not trying to say he had nothing to do with it, I think that hearing it from a neutral party outside of her relationship was the main reason for her attending therapy, and not to act like, everyone around her is responsible for her being in therapy. Danni deserves kudos, not just for going to therapy, but despite the rough patches she went through once she started going, she opted to stick with it. Because there were times where she felt like, I don't know if therapy's for me, it's not really sticking and whatnot. But no, she kept with it. And I feel like season 8 has fumbled the ball, especially during the first portion of the season. But yeah, this was a great Danni moment due to the fact that, yeah, in terms of the Black community in the past few years, mental health has been brought up. And it really is, what I loved about it is the fact that you have an older Black person praising a younger Black person for going to therapy. Because I mean, if you know people in your real life, especially like family members and whatnot, if you tell them like, you're going to therapy and whatnot, oh, back in my day, we didn't go to therapy. It's like, ain't nothing wrong with you. It's like you act like something wrong with you. I love the fact that she didn't patronize it. She praised Danni for doing it. So I think that's one of the moments where I'm like, yeah, like I said, I know Marie's going to eat this scene up. It's going to be great. But the context of the conversation is what I'm worried about. Like, is this all like a I am woman, hear me roar kind of thing, and they're crapping on the men? Or is it a conversation of accountability where, Marie's going to give out sage advice and whatnot? But like I said, the other half of this clip, that's his own video. But I just had to do a separate video to show that I did enjoy a portion of the clip. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Like and subscribe, and please check out the other part of the clip if you have not done so already, because that video, man, I literally can't wait for this entire scene.